I cannot open a single app without seeing this book on my screen. This romance literally does not make sense. 330 pages of absolute perfection. Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to today's video. We are doing another episode of TBR Takedown today, but with a little bit of a twist. This is episode 3, so you guys know by now I am currently on a project to read down my physical TBR. When I started this project, I was at 101 books on my physical TBR, which for me was way too many. I was getting so overwhelmed with that number, so I want to read my physical TBR down to 35. That is our final goal. I did just count my physical TBR this morning, and we have made it down to 66 books, which is absolutely so wonderful. We are definitely making some good progress, but yeah, we'll just continue to read down. And today we're definitely gonna get a little boost because Huffy is out of town for a work trip, so you guys know what that means. It means we are doing a 24-hour readathon today, which basically means we are going to have a big cozy reading day. We're just gonna read books the entire day, and I don't know, we'll see what we get up to. Now, with the whole readathon thing, I always think reading should be fun. I don't think we should be like trying to torture ourselves to read. So while I'm going to focus on reading for basically 24 hours, like a 24-hour span, I am gonna take care of myself. I am gonna eat. I am going to sleep. And so we're not gonna torture ourselves today. We're more just doing like a full cozy day of reading and just seeing how much we read, because yeah, reading should not be a punishment. I know I've done these 24-hour readathons before where I've just like gone nuts, but we're over that phase in our life now. What is this? Oh, Huffy's calling me. One sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, sorry. He was just calling to say good morning. But where were we? What were we saying? What day is it? What is going on? I'm actually gonna start today's readathon with a book that I'm currently in the middle of, and that is Silver Elite by Dani Francis. Yes, I know we have been seeing this book literally everywhere on the internet. I cannot open a single app without seeing this book on my screen, partly because people are reading it and partly because of just all the controversies on like who the heck Dani Francis actually is. I think I have my suspicions, but we'll get to that later. I have started this book. I am just about like a little under halfway through. So I probably have like 250 or 300 pages left. I think this is a fairly long book, like 550 pages-ish, somewhere around there. I don't know. But this is also our Fable Book Club pick of the month. So I've been reading this. I've been chatting with you guys in Fable. It's been super fun. But today we are going to finish this book as the first book of our readathon. Also, you guys, look at this bookmark. It literally matches the book so well. Hold on, is the jewel facing out? How cute. There's like a little sword and a little blue jewel, which actually matches this book very, very well. Just in case you have not heard of what Silver Elite is, this is the new viral romantasy that's been going around. It is a dystopian romantasy. It is adult. It is spicy. I haven't really gotten to the spicy part of it yet, but it is marketed as like a spicy Divergent or like another Fourth Wing kind of a thing. I would say this is like a mashup of Heartless Hunter and the Bone Season with the Fourth Wing Divergent vibes. Because, okay, let's explain. In this world, we have primes and we have mods. So primes are regular human beings. Mods are also human beings, but they've been affected by radiation, and so they now have these mind powers. So it can really vary the extent of your powers. So most of them can like read people's minds, at least like a little bit. They can also like chat with each other, like chat with other mods. There's like this mind network of mods, so they can talk to each other through telepathy. Some mods can heal, and some mods are so powerful that they can incite, which basically means mind control. All mods kind of vary in strength. Some mods can do multiple powers, some mods can only do like 1 or 2 of them. And our FMC, Ren, is a mod, of course. So she's been hiding her entire life, trying to keep her powers hidden. She's lived with her uncle for the longest time, who's also a mod, when one day she makes a mistake. She gets caught, and then she gets put into this military training program for the Silver Elite. And the Silver Elite is like the top tier, highest ranking military block. And obviously this is a big problem for her because now she has to work double to hide her identity, because the Silver Elite also, like, their main task is to hunt mods. And so now she's a mod in a program training mod killers. Yay! So that's essentially our world and story. I draw parallels to the Bone season for the most part because of like the mind powers, and these clairvoyant types of people are the ones being hunted. So that's basically the extent of the connection with the Bone season. With Heartless Hunter, we have sort of like a cat and mouse thing going on, and I would say we have a similar setup in here. And then Fourth Wing or Divergent, obviously, because we have this like military training academy setting, which I always find to be really fun. The writing of this book, I think, also feels very, very Fourth Wing. I would say the addictiveness is maybe there, like the fast-paced addictiveness of Fourth Wing, but I would say that there is definitely some dialogue in here that makes me cringe, like that very forced banter, like especially with the romance. There are points where our characters just like banter and like flirt with each other and say these things in the most inappropriate moments, and ooh, I don't like that. But I do have positive thoughts about this book, but we'll continue with the negative first and then we'll go into the positive. The negative, definitely the romance is the weakest point in this book for me so far. As I mentioned, the chemistry and the banter feels very, very forced. It feels very tropey. There's no real like connection or buildup or like anything as to why these two characters would feel anything for each other other than just physical attraction. And it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, he's my enemy and I hate him so much, but he's so hot. It is emphasized and repeated so many times. It's like, I hate him, he's hot, I hate him, ooh, but look at his arms. I'm just not liking that at all. In fact, there's actually a side character in this book that I am rooting for as the like main love interest, and I know he's not gonna be the main love interest, but I like him so much more, and I like his development, like emotional development with our FMC so much more. But we'll get to the positives. I think the world in here is actually very cool. It is a very narrow view because we are in first person POV, singular first person POV. So we're only seeing the world through our FMC's eyes, and she has a very limited scope on the world. She doesn't have like a lot of knowledge about it. So us as the reader in her mind, we also don't have a lot of knowledge about it, which I think is fine for now. Like it's okay. It's kind of to be expected with a book that is told in this way. The hope is that you just continue to expand on the world as our main character also starts learning more about the world. But apart from that limited scope we have, what we've learned so far is cool. I like the setup with the primes and the mods and the sort of political system we have. So that's good. And I will also say the plot has enough exciting things going on that like I'm sort of overlooking the romance for now. Obviously not a good thing in a romantasy if you don't like the romance, but I think there's just like enough exciting story happening that like I am able to stay interested and engaged so far. So those are kind of my basic thoughts on Silver Elite so far. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's like horrible. I think I'm actually probably teetering on the 3-star mark right now, and just depending on where the story goes, it could either go down or it could go up. So that's where I'm at right now. We are going to continue reading this. I do want to start our little timer. Again, we're not going like insane and doing an actual 24 hours straight of reading, but I'm gonna forget what time I started this readathon if I don't do our little like countdown timer. So it actually is 9:18 in the morning right now. Let's start it. Did it start? Okay, I think that started. Okay, not much else to say to you guys, but let's read. This romance literally does not make sense at all. From what? The plot is, as I mentioned, the plot is exciting. The plot is fun. But like what is this romance? I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Okay, I'm convinced that Elsie Silver wrote this book because the facts are, I'm pretty sure Dani Francis has been confirmed as a female Canadian author, and Elsie Silver is a female Canadian author. And I feel like the way the romance is going is reminding me of Elsie Silver books, where our characters have so many lustful thoughts for each other while in the most inappropriate situations. These situations are not romantic. No one would be feeling that way you know? And I feel like Elsie Silver does do that a lot in her contemporary romances. Obviously, in situations with lower stakes, like less dangerous, because her contemporaries are not very dangerous situations for the most part, but I'm seeing a correlation here. We're also getting spicy. We're into the spicy part of this book, and I feel like I'm already getting bored of the spice scenes. I think because, like, in general, you guys know I'm not a spice lover, but I do like one or two good spice scenes if there has been like good build up towards it. Like, I felt the yearning, I felt the tension, and then we like released that tension. But even like the first spice scene in this book, I was very confused because I was like, what is happening? Why are we just doing this already at this point, when I personally have felt zero emotional connection and development, and we are now on our like third or fourth spice scene within like 100 pages. Like, it's just happening over and over and over again, and I just want some emotional connection. Like, I want some romance. Where is the romance? I just see lust here, and it's not convincing me. There is enough in the plot that is keeping me interested, so I'm pretty much reading this book for that. There are definitely plot holes. The world is not perfect. There are a lot of things that feel loose, but the plot's fun. You know, it's fun. There's things going on. I do like the side characters. Like, the side characters are wonderful, but our two main characters are so stereotypical. We have our girl who's like hardened over the years and like knows how to fight, but at the same time she has this compassion and she like needs to rescue everyone around her. Like, very stereotypical main character. And then our main love interest is like our dark-haired, tattooed, blue-eyed, strict and fierce but probably misunderstood guy, and he smells like pine. Everything, like the way he acts, like it's all just very stereotypical. Anyways, I'm on page 350. I think I'm just gonna like, yeah, continue this book, finish it maybe, and then we'll have a little snacky snack. Let's just finish this book. Okay, I've just made this little snacky plate for lunch. I've been loving these lunches this week. Basically a plate of snacks. So I have like pretzel thin things, cucumbers, smoked cheese. This little thing has cottage cheese in it, and I just put some pepper on top and some meat. I think it's Black Forest ham. I did finish this, and it was messy. It was messy, okay? The last couple of chapters, messy. I decided to give this book a 2.5. I didn't hate it. Okay, the thing is, I didn't absolutely hate it. I don't think it was horrible, but I also didn't love it at the same time. And I think there were just enough weird plot holes and things that didn't make sense that like this book couldn't be a 3-star for me. There was just so much stuff that didn't make sense. Things the characters were deciding to do, their like motivations on what they were doing. Our main character did this really, really dumb thing, and it led to consequences. And I was just like, why would you do that? Like, I thought you were smart. The romance, I will say, got better at the end. Like, there was more of an emotional connection, but I think because of the way it was built up throughout the book, like the damage was already done, and I just couldn't really get behind the romance because of how it initially formed. Yeah, I don't know, they're just plot holes, world holes, things that didn't make sense. I don't even know how I feel about any of the characters in this book. Like, just I don't know what just happened outside, but just like, I don't know, an hour ago, I was telling you guys that I liked the side characters. Now I'm just not sure. I feel like there were so many character inconsistencies that revealed themselves in that last 100 pages of the book that like, now I'm just unsure of everyone, but like not in a good way. I feel like for the most part, I was like semi enjoying this book. Like, I was gonna give it a 3-star, but yeah, that ending just really threw me off. I don't know, that was weird. I definitely see the comparisons with like Divergent or Fourth Wing. I don't really see a correlation with the Hunger Games, which I've seen this book compared to a lot. Anyways, done with that one. I have decided to pick up Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid next. I feel like I'm in need of like a real world contemporary book, and this one just came out last week, I think, like not too long ago, and I've just been dying to get to it because I've been hearing amazing things. I don't know that much about the plot of this book other than the fact that we follow a female female main character, and I think she gets accepted into this like NASA program. I think she's the first woman ever to be accepted into this space program, and she just loves space set in the 80s. So yeah, I'm just gonna start this book and I'm gonna eat my little lunch plate. I actually made a gigantic order at Old Navy because they were doing one of those like super cash things where it was like, if you spend 50 bucks, you get 30 bucks off, or if you spend 100 bucks, you get 60 bucks off. So I made a kind of giant order and it just arrived. First up, we have this yellow top. I got these sweat shorts, just something to wear at home and be comfortable. I saw a book themed shirt, so I was like, well, I need to have it. It's like a little picnic situation. There's a book, there's a croissant. A lot of you guys were asking me where I got this. I have this in like that red color. I wore it in my June TBR video. It's like one of those tennis style like sporty dress things. I really like the red one, so I got the same one in this like navy color. This is actually the same top I'm currently wearing, but in this like white and green stripe color. I got this like skirt thing. It's kind of like an activewear like tennis skirt style, but the material feels kind of like more like sweat. This is just like a fun bright pink top, a jean mini skirt, and one last thing, just another top to wear. This is like an olive green. I'm gonna just like quickly try this stuff on and then we will continue reading. I wanted to like go outside either to like a park or a patio and get like a little juice or something, but it's been kind of like intermittently cloudy and sunny, and it's like currently cloudy right now. So I don't really want to go out in case it rains, but I'm gonna keep an eye out on the skies, and if I see a clear moment, we will go out somewhere. But for now, we're gonna stay home and continue reading here. Okay, so this is wonderful so far. This is so wonderful so far. I'm on page like 75. Let's see what time it is. It is 3:04, so we have just over 18 hours left in this readathon. I've definitely been going at like a slower pace, like a more relaxed pace this time around, but I am just trying to enjoy this book because I've been looking forward to it for a long time. We kind of have like two-ish main characters, but I feel like our main character is Joan. She has always loved space, and she's currently been working as a professor for astronomy and physics, and she's just like living this very routine life. She hangs out a lot with her sister and her niece. She's really close to her niece, but she has this, yeah, it's just this like really routine life. One day NASA announces that they're recruiting for their space shuttle program, and for the first time ever they're accepting females. So Joan, she's like, this is my time to shine. This is what I've been waiting my entire life for. She applies, she gets in, and then we follow her as she goes through this program, gets to know everyone around her, as well as like gets to know herself more as well. And then we have this dual timeline. So that's like our past timeline. And then we have 5 years later where Joan and her crew are on like an active mission. And this current timeline, it's like gut-wrenching. It is like anxiety-inducing. If you've watched any like space movies, you probably have an idea of like some of the things that are going on. Our past timeline is more about like getting to know our characters, getting to know like how they've bonded over the years. And then we have our present day timeline, which just like, it's just very stressful, a very stressful situation. I mean, what can I say? Taylor Jenkins Reid has wonderful writing. You could tell Taylor Jenkins Reid has researched about space, and everything seems to be very accurate. I mean, coming from me who knows nothing about space, everything seems quite accurate and genuine to me as nobody. But while we have that space side of things, this book is about so much more than space. Like, it's about human relationships, interactions, connections, love in all different forms. And that's why it's called a love story. Like, there is so much love in this book. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading this. It is actually it looks kind of sunny outside now. It at least looks like it's not about to rain. So I might actually just step outside, just onto my balcony, and read a little bit out there. I am gonna put on some sunscreen and then we'll go outside. Literally just came outside and it's cloudy, of course. But at least these don't look like rain clouds, which is what I was like scared of, because obviously I don't want to get like anything wet. But I do wish it was just like a little bit sunny. There are so many clouds today. I also did have another costume change, just wearing this like active wear top, because it's not sunny, but when it is sunny I tan so quickly and I am not getting myself a farmer's tan with a t-shirt. So changed again, and either way it'll be nice to just get some fresh air whether or not there's sun. So let's just read out here for a little bit. Okay, the whole outside thing did not actually last very long because some darker looking clouds rolled in and I didn't want to risk my camera and I didn't want to risk my book. So we're back inside, but I've been reading more of this and the romance that I suspected is getting more romancy, and it's equally making me feel happy but also equally making me feel sad. And if you've read this book, you will know what I'm talking about. Everything else is still going wonderfully. It seems to be very concise, like very evenly paced out. The editing is very good. Either Taylor Jenkins Reid is just really good at like not writing too much, like writing just the perfect amount to get her point across, or she has wonderful editors that like are ruthless with cutting her books down. But yeah, I'm enjoying this, so I'm gonna keep reading. Oh my god. Hold on, I need to put my AirPods away. I don't think I've cried this hard for a book in a long time. I mean, I just read My Friends and The Winners and cried, but like, this is like next level. So that book entirely consumed me. It actually was a lot shorter than I expected it to be. It was like 330 pages, but it was 330 pages of absolute perfection. Why am I still crying? The fact that 330 pages can get me like this, like that is talent. That is real skill. I'm gonna feed the cats because I think it's like half an hour. Yeah, it's like 5:30, so it's like half an hour past their dinner and they're probably getting mad at me. I think they've actually given up. That's why they're quiet. But I literally couldn't take my eyes off the book to like get up and feed them. I had to finish the book because I was literally so consumed by it. But I'm gonna feed my cats. I'm going to gather myself and I'll be back to talk to you. Holy crap. Genuinely, how did Taylor Jenkins Reid capture me so much within 330 pages? I feel like it's so easy for authors to write books that are like 500, 600 pages long and then just like get you emotionally connected that way because you've spent so much time with the characters. But like in 300 pages, I feel like I know these characters so well. There are also so many characters. Like, yes, we have our main character and then just like her main circle, but like there are a lot of characters in here and they all have different dynamics, and yes, some we obviously get to know a lot more than others, but they all feel like fully fleshed out characters. Like even the ones that are like very much side characters and there to just like help drive the plot forward, they even still feel like very rich, very full. Like there's not a single character in here that just seems very like two-dimensional. Like everyone feels so real. And as I mentioned, this book is just all about love. We have romantic love, we have familial love, we have friendship love, we have love for your career and love for your passion. We covered all of them in here to like a very deep level. Again, in 330 pages, we did all of that. Something else that I really loved about this book, I mean, I loved literally everything about this book, but something that stood out to me is that I loved that Joan, like when she basically achieved all of her dreams, you know, she went to space. I don't think that's a spoiler. It's like the premise of the book. I feel like most stories like this would portray that trip to space as like, oh my god, like this has been my goal my entire life, it's absolutely perfect. But we have Joan here, and when Joan achieves, you know, what she's been working towards her entire life, she gets motion sickness or like the space equivalent of motion sickness. Just something like that that doesn't portray like this final goal of this dream to be this absolute picture perfect situation. Just made this entire book feel so much more real. Like it's so realistic. Like yes, I would totally work my butt off to get to space and then just like be throwing up the entire time because I'm getting like space motion sickness. I don't know why. I really liked that part a lot. Taylor Jenkins Reid does it again. I think this is like one of my top books from her. For me, I feel like it's tied between this and Daisy Jones. I also read Daisy Jones so long ago, so it's kind of hard to compare them, but like this is wonderful. It is so good. Everyone needs to read this book. This is a book I think literally everyone could read and everyone should read. So, oh, there we have it, Atmosphere. As much as I loved that, like I'm just like raving about it, it's a 5-star. It's literally like a perfection book. It's a 6-star book. I don't do the whole 6-star thing. Like I've never given a book 6 stars, but like if I were to give a book 6 stars, like it's this book. But yeah, I think I just need something a little lighter right now. Let's turn around. My cart's over there now, which is weird. What can we read that's like not going to rip my heart apart? Ooh, I just got this one from Book of the Month, The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram. This one is about like 2 exes that run against each other like politically. I think sounds kind of fun, and I think this one's a little like saucy and dramatic, so maybe that could be fun. I could do something like Promise Me Sunshine. When I read Ready or Not, obviously, you know, there's some emotions that get tied into romance books, but Ready or Not to me felt like just like a warm hug, and I feel like I need to be hugged right now, so maybe Promise Me Sunshine's good. I also have The Love Haters. Oh, I also have The Bodyguard that Ellen sent me. What do I want to read? Should I read the first sentence of each of these? So this is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. Let's see. My mother's dying wish was for me to take a vacation. Oh, I feel like this book is lighthearted because it's like bright yellow and cute, but like my mother's dying wish? What do you mean your mother's dying wish? I can't deal with death right now. The Love Haters. It was quitting time on a Friday, but Cole Hutchison didn't care. Okay, that could be like a little cheeky. And then let's do Promise Me Sunshine. This baby will not stop judging me. Oh yeah, I think I read the first sentence of this in one of my TBR videos where my prompt was pick a book based on its first sentence. Let's look at The Summer We Ran. I was never a good liar. What should I pick? Help me. Should I just see which one's the highest rated? That's kind of a cheap way to pick a book. The Summer We Ran is like a more current release though. 4.03, that's pretty good. And then Promise Me Sunshine, 4.18. It's slightly higher. You know what? Not that I'm letting Goodreads choose for me. I do have my own brain sometimes. I feel like this one is the vibe I'm going for more. Like I want something more like light hearted, where I think The Summer We Ran is a little more like drama heavy. I don't remember what this one is about. Grieving the loss of her best friend. Oh, there's grief. That kind of changes all my plans. Oh, no. No, I'm gonna do Promise Me Sunshine. That was what my gut instinct wanted me to do, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna do it, okay? Okay. I also just realized I totally never finished reading the synopsis with you guys because I gave up after I saw the word grieving. Grieving the loss of her best friend, a young woman finds her life turned upside down when she meets a grumpy stranger who swears he can help her live again. Okay, so we have Lenny. Lenny is a little bit of a mess. It says, ever since cancer, ever since cancer stole her away from her best friend, she has been completely lost. She's avoiding her concerned parents, the apartment she shared with her best friend, and the laminated live again list of things she's promised to do to survive her grief. But maybe if she acts like she has it all together, no one will notice she's falling apart. Okay, so she is doing babysitting jobs. The kid she's babysitting's uncle, Miles, is the grumpy man. He knows a lot about grief, so he offers Lenny a proposition. He'll help her complete everything on her live again list if she'll help him connect with Ainsley, Ainsley's the kid, and overcome his complicated relationship with Reese, Ainsley's mom. Okay, so she's going on this like big live again bucket list type of adventure with the baby's uncle. Let's read this one. Hopefully I don't cry more because I think I've cried out all the tears I could possibly cry in a day. I think I've like filled my tear quota, but okay, let's read. Welcome to the bed portion of the readathon. That feels oddly intimate. But it is like 9:30-ish. I just did my whole like nighttime evening routine, did a body shower, got ready for bed. Also had dinner sometime in between there, and we've retired to the bed for the night. I am roughly halfway through Promise Me Sunshine. This is going by pretty quick. Honestly, I will probably be able to finish this book before I fall asleep. I'm planning on reading for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. One thing that I have learned about this book, you guys may laugh at me, okay? I never knew that the little saying or idiom was quote, unquote. You know when people say that, like when they're saying they're, you know, quotation marks, people say quote, unquote. I always thought it was quote, on quote, which makes absolutely no sense, but you know, it's just one of those things that like you get it into your brain in a certain way and it just sticks. I read it like typed out and I was like, oh, quote unquote. It's not quote on quote. Actually, quote on quote kind of makes sense. Maybe. I don't know, but that just like blew my mind. I was like, quote unquote? What? We learn something new every day. Anyways, my thoughts so far. I'm going to start with the negative because there is much more positive than negative. I, for the most part, like the female main character. She's a little bit not like the other girls, but like I get it with what she's going through. But there's this one thing that she does. Do you hear Bob's right now? He does this thing. He does this like hunting call at night. He might bring me a mouse. And by mouse, I mean like stuffed mouse. Not like a real mouse. He's never done that before. We don't have mice. He's an indoor cat. But what was I saying? Oh, the female main character. What's her name? Lenny. She does this really annoying thing where like pretty much, like almost every guy she runs into and makes eye contact with, she makes this fantasy in her head about like this relationship she'd have with them, from the whole meet cute to their like likes and dislikes to all their dates to like how they get married to how they break up. Like she fantasizes all this stuff in her head for like literally every single guy she sees, and it's very annoying for me. I feel like it's added in there as like, you know, like she's just quirky, but that is a trait that I have just discovered is very annoying to me. So I don't really like that about her. In terms of everything else though, I think she is a good female main character. There's just like that part of her that I'm like, what? Like, stop. Maybe don't do that. Oh, and there's one other thing that like I don't necessarily dislike. It's more just like mixed feelings for me, but I feel like a lot of this plot, or like the whole premise of this plot, feels very like not realistic, just in terms of this like situation, like this deal that Miles, our main male character, and Lenny have made, with him helping her with her grief and then with her helping him get closer to his sister and his niece. I get the idea, I get the concept of it, but I feel like the way it happened felt a little bit too quick and unrealistic. Like like just in the sense of how quickly he spotted Lenny and immediately knew what she was going through and immediately knew like what she needed and just like stepping in to help her. Like it just seemed very unrealistic for him to be so observant of all that stuff and immediately like come up with this idea so quickly. And so the fact that that kickstarts this entire plot pretty much, kind of like, it took me a little while to get into it just because of that. But I will say now that we're in the thick of it, I've kind of like forgotten that that happened in the beginning and that's how we got to this point, because everything now is flowing very well and I'm liking what's happening. But in general, like Cara Bastone, I feel like her writing flows so smooth. It is one of those writing styles that just like I read so naturally. It just like flows in my brain so well. I also really love her friends to lovers situations. This is a friends to lovers. Ready or Not was also a friends to lovers, and I'm really liking friends to lovers lately. If you asked me like several months ago, I'd be like, no, like yeah, sure, I'll read friends to lovers, but I would rather a rivals to lovers or an enemies to lovers, because it's just like it's more exciting in fiction. But I think I'm like growing out of that phase. Maybe it's like you need to alternate between them, because nowadays enemies to lovers and rivals to lovers is such a common trope. It's so popular, so I feel like every author is doing it. It's such an oversaturation of that trope in books these days, and also because of that, it kind of results in the trope not being done so well most of the time. So whenever I encounter friends to lovers now, I really do appreciate it. I respect it, I like it, and I really enjoy the way Cara Bastone especially does it. I love that, and I also really love all of her male main interests. Male main interests, male love interests. And by all, I mean the two that I know. The one in Ready or Not and the one here. They're just so healthy. And I like that they're healthy, but they also have their own issues going on, but it's not like toxic issues. I think I like Ready or Not better overall so far, but we'll see like where we get to in the second half of this book. I'm gonna continue reading. The second I get tired, I'm falling asleep. And yeah, that's what I mentioned, like with today's readathon, I'm not doing like a full intense readathon like how I used to and like just get like 2 hours of sleep or something. Like no. We are into the self-care in this era of my life, and we do not torture ourselves to read anymore. So I'm just gonna read until I feel like not reading anymore. I did though, however, with all that being said, I did also just grab The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram. If I do finish this book and I'm like, let's start a new one, I have this one and I won't have to like run over to my other room. So I do have this beside me if I do end up feeling energized and want to keep going, but I'm not going to force it. But yeah, I've yapped a lot, so I'm just going to continue reading this in bed. Good morning. It is 7:07 a.m. I don't even know if you can see my phone screen because you're so far away. Why did I put you so far away? I don't know, but we have like around 2 hours left. I did finish Promise Me Sunshine yesterday before I fell asleep. Overall, I thought this was very cute. The progression of the friends to lovers was just so good in this one. I really liked that we had such a strong emotional connection in this one. This is like the complete opposite of what Silver Elite was, for example, like the romance in Silver Elite, because all that stuff I was mentioning that I didn't like about Silver Elite, like how it was all like physical first, there was no emotional connection, so the romance didn't make sense. This was literally the opposite. So first at the beginning, obviously we do have our first like initial impression of when our like love interests meet each other. So there is that like physical pull, like, oh, he is very good looking, just to establish that like initial mutual interest. But then after that point, the physical attraction is literally like not mentioned. And then instead, we just work towards getting this emotional connection with each other and like build up the romance, or like at least like in this case, it's friends to lovers. So like we build up that friendship, that deep emotional connection. And then only after that connection is solid, we go back to the physical stuff. And so I really love Cara Bastone for doing this. I don't know why I just said that so dramatically. movie. But yeah, I did really love this. It's not like a steamy, spicy romance by any means, so if you're looking for something like that, this is not the book for you. But if you're looking for something that is just like all around wholesome, like a really good friends to lovers romance that has wonderful friendships, wonderful family stuff, wonderful like emotional romance, and lots of healing, you should pick this up. Oh, and there was no dumb third act conflict in this. Cara Bastone does not do dumb third act breakups or like dumb third act conflicts, which I love because those are literally my least favorite part in any romance. Cara Bastone doesn't. She doesn't, and I love her so much for that. Overall, really like this. I am settling at a 4-star. Overall, I did love Ready or Not better than this one, but this was also a very, very solid romance read. I am going to go downstairs. I'm gonna have some breakfast. I think I'm gonna make a yogurt bowl. I'm gonna start The Summer We Ran. I did not end up starting this last night, but we're gonna start it this morning. We probably won't be able to finish it because we only have like 2 hours, or like probably less than 2 hours by the time I get myself out of bed and into a yogurt bowl. I'll probably have closer to like an hour and a half or something remaining. So I'm gonna feed myself and I'm going to start our 4th and final book. That time's up. Our 24 hours of reading is finished. I feel honestly so cozy and well rested from that readathon, which is so wonderful. But I do have a big day of editing ahead of me now to edit this video. I made it about 130 pages into The Summer We Ran. Basically, we have a dual timeline set up, which I've been really loving the dual timelines lately. I feel like I've read a lot of good ones, like Atmosphere for one, also My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I feel like the dual timeline thing has just been working. I've read a lot of good ones lately, but this one is a dual timeline. So in our like past timeline, we follow Tess as a teenager. I think she's like 17 years old, and it's just her and her mom living together. Her mom works as a cook, and her mom gets this really good opportunity that could like potentially turn into like a long-term thing where she gets hired by like a very, very wealthy woman to be her house manager for her summer home and also like basically her personal chef. So they move into this really like gorgeous house, but obviously they feel like a little bit out of place there because that's like not usually the environment that they live in. They're not like super well off like that. But over that summer, Tess meets their neighbor, Grant, and immediately they hit it off. They have this like summer whirlwind romance, but then tragedy strikes, and then for whatever reason, we don't know, they split ways, they cut contact with each other, and then now in the current day timeline, 25 years later, the two of them find themselves running against each other for the position of governor of Virginia. So they find themselves on two opposite sides of the political spectrum. Now all of these old secrets and stuff are threatening to like come up to the surface, and neither of them can really afford that happening. So far, I'm really enjoying this. It's not that long of a book, so I've read 130 pages, but I'm like almost halfway through. I feel like this book is a really easy one to binge. The writing is very easy to read. I feel like honestly, this is probably a book that would be good like if you just want to binge a book in one sitting. Like you just want to sit down and read an entire book. This would probably be a good candidate for that. Obviously, I'm not doing that because my readathon is over now and I need to edit, but like I could totally just like keep reading this book. It's drawn me in quite well. Definitely has that like bingeability factor because I feel like while we're reading like their little silly teenage summer romance, we also have this like mystery in the future of like what happened to them and like why did they split and what was this big dramatic tragedy. So it's that perfect mixture of like, I don't know, fun, silly teenage romance. Like it doesn't really feel silly, but you know, it's like naive, it's like innocent teenage romance, and then with this mystery element that like brings in the like intrigue. So that's pretty good. I will say I'm not like in love with the romance, but I think that's kind of on purpose. Like it's kind of like a teenage romance where the characters are feeling very very young and they just don't really know what they're doing, especially our main character Tess. The entire book is in her POV. We have first person POV for both timelines. And so I will say her 17-year-old timeline really seems young. Like her mind is very young, and I think personally, I think it seems a little bit too young, like a little bit exaggerated for a 17-year-old brain. But maybe I feel like it's also to help differentiate like how different she is as a 17-year-old versus now 25 years later. So her young self is just like written more young than it needs to be, just to have more of that separation. But other than that, I am so far enjoying this. I'm intrigued. I'm so curious to see like where the story takes us and what all the mysteries come out to be and how it's all dealt with, because I feel like that will really determine my rating for this book. Because right now I'm not really sitting anywhere on the rating spectrum. I feel like it's too soon to tell. Like I just need to know what direction the book is going to go in before I give it a rating, because refreshingly, it's actually a book that like I don't know where we're gonna go. Like I don't think this book is predictable. I'm just kind of like vibing with it and going along with it and not really knowing where we're gonna end up. So that's really refreshing. But yeah, I can't really give it a rating. It's obviously a very political book. We do find like Tess and Grant, they are on opposite sides of the political spectrum, obviously, because they're running against each other. So there's obviously a lot of politics in this book, lots of like politics that, you know, are very present in our real world today. But I will say Audrey Ingram is doing a really, really good job with integrating the politics into the story, and like obviously it makes sense as to why it's integrated into the story, so I'm not getting triggered by that. It's actually making me like more interested in seeing like how all of that plays out in this fictional version of the world. But that is the summer we ran. I am going to read more of this tonight. I probably won't have time to read during the day just because I'm gonna be working on editing this video today. But as a recap on everything we read in the past 24 hours, we started with Silver Elite. I was already like, you know, partially into the book when we started the readathon, but I finished that by Dani Francis. Didn't love it, didn't absolutely hate it, but I didn't love it. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which honestly might be one of my favorite reads of the year. That was incredible. Promise Me Sunshine, which I found was a good romance read, a good summer romance, I would say, if that's what you're looking for, like something wholesome. And then now I'm partway through the summer we ran. So I think that was a very highly successful, cozy day. And you guys, oh my god, wait, let me check. Where's my phone? I am so close to my next YouTube milestone, you guys. I'm currently sitting at 69,986 subscribers, which means I need 14 more subscribers until we hit 70K. Which literally sounds like the most insane number. I don't know what it is about that number, but I'm like, that sounds like so cool. So we're really close to reading that. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, we will have reached that milestone. But I just wanted to preemptively just take a second to thank everyone who supports me, who watches my videos, who subscribes, who likes, who comments, does all that stuff. Truly, truly means the world to me. You give me genuinely so much joy in my life. Like, you are such a big part of my life. I love having this community. I love being able to read books and share with you and like document my reading experiences with you. It's just so wonderful, because we're getting a little cheesy here at the end of this readathon, but I just feel like reading can be such an isolating activity. And yes, I am such an introvert and I am so more than happy to just like sit home by myself, read a book, escape into these worlds. Obviously, you know, I literally just did 24 hours of staying at home and reading and talking to literally no one but you. But it is just so much fun talking about the books you read with someone else and like seeing how other people can relate to you, or just like discussing even different opinions on books. It's so much fun. It makes the activity of reading like so much more enhanced. I love it. And I love you guys a lot. But before we get too sappy, I'm gonna leave you guys here for now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what you are currently reading. And if you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!